Coming up on Cedar Falls City News, stormwater erosion control is the focus at a workshop held this week. Cedar Falls kids keep busy during spring break, and the Dog Pound is the place to be at the state basketball tournament. Cedar Falls City News starts now. Hello and welcome to Cedar Falls City News. I'm John Bloomberg. Our goal is to keep you up to date with city projects and programs so that you, the citizens of Cedar Falls, are better informed. We'll also have human interest features so you can get to know the people who run your city a little better. Last week, Cedar Falls was host to a stormwater erosion control workshop. And what exactly is a stormwater erosion control workshop? Well, basically, it's a workshop designed to give people ideas on how to prevent erosion and soil runoff. There were several speakers, all focused on ways to improve soil erosion for builders, contractors, and landowners.
Well, Cedar Falls is one of 43 communities in the state that are subject to federal regulations that come out of the Clean Water Act that require these communities to start adding water quality to traditional stormwater management strategies which have prioritized flood control in the past. So adding the water quality is something that Cedar Falls and cities across the nation are required to do. So this is an educational event today to help better acquaint people with some of these new strategies, the whole new stormwater paradigm.
For Cedar Falls residents, this is most important around the Dry Run Creek area, an essential part of Cedar Falls' drainage system. We'll have more on the Stormwater Erosion Control Workshop and the Dry Run Creek Watershed Project next week, right here on City News. Well, it is March Madness for you sports fans out there, and for some it tipped off last week in Des Moines. Both the Cedar Falls High School and the NU High School boys basketball teams played in the state tournament. The Cedar Falls boys lost in the first round to eventual 4A state runner-up Linmar. The NU High boys were the defending 1A state champions, and they made it all the way back to the final game, where they were eventually defeated by Rock Valley. I went to that game, and while I was there, I found myself not in a panther den, but in a dog pound.
Here at the Class 1A State Championship, the stands are filled with orange and black because it's the school colors for both teams, but there's one section of the stands where the bark is just a little bit louder. It's the student section for NU High, otherwise known as the Dog Pound.
We are the Dog Pound.
What is your mascot?
We're the Panthers.
NU High is a panther, so yeah, but we're the Dog Pound.
What are you dressed up like?
A panther?
But aren't you in the Dog Pound?
Yeah.
And why are you dressed up like a panther?
I don't know.
Why are you the dog pound if you're the Panthers?
Well, the manager of the basketball team, we call him Mad Dog, and so I think it's somewhat off of that.
Yeah, it just came from that, and then we had a picture of him on our first Dog Pound shirt, and then this year our Dog Pound shirt on the back says repeat, and it's cool.
And do you guys have your face painted then like dogs or like panthers?
I don't know.
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture.
Now, NU High's mascot is what?
The Panthers.
Why is it the Dog Pound?
I think it's after an old NU hero, Matt Carlson, who was a manager for every sport, football, basketball, baseball. I think his first year was my junior year of high school. He came as an 8th grader and was the manager of our football team, and just been with NU High ever since. And I don't even know how he got the name Mad Dog. You might have to ask him, but just named it after him, kind of a group name, I guess, and it's just kind of stuck the past 2 years. And won state championship with it, and we'll see what we can do here tonight, another year with them.
Why do they call you Mad Dog?
It's been an old name since I played hockey back in the olden days, and my coach gave me the old nickname, and stuck around forever now.
And tell me, how big of an NU High fan are you?
A very, very big fan. It's my second trip down to the state tournament in 7 years, and hopefully to bring home the gold here tonight.
is the purpose of the dog pound? What are you guys here for?
To cheer on our team.
It gets a lot of people involved in the school that like aren't usually. Like it's really fun to be in it. And before we used to just kind of like stand and cheer and clap and stuff. Now we have like cheers that we do.
Can you guys do for me a dog pound cheer?
Great. Whenever you guys are ready.
Everywhere we're going, it's on TV. All right?
Present yourself.
Everywhere we go!
Everywhere we go!
People want to know!
People want to know
Who we are!
who we are.
So we tell them!
So we tell them
We are the Dog Pound!
we are the dog pound.
Mighty, mighty Dog Pound!
Mighty, mighty dog pound.
They're a good group, you know, great fans. Been really supportive of the basketball team. I think it's really brought our school community, especially the kids, you know, together during the basketball season. And you know, they've listened to everything we've said. They followed our directions, and I think, you know, everybody that's come to a game have seen that, you know, they're great fans, but they're also respectful fans, which is obviously what we want them to be.
You guys are the biggest fans, right?
We are the biggest
NU High fans.
yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Tell me, only one starter back from last year's team. Who is that?
Brad Denning.
A little bit of history for you. Do you know how many times NU High has been to the state tournament?
I don't.
8 times.
Wow. Do you know their highest finish?
We've been in the
First? Last year?
Last year. Who are you guys playing today?
Rock Valley.
Who's got better school colors, you guys or them?
We do.
What are your school colors?
Orange and black.
Who are you playing today?
Rock Valley.
And what are their school
Rock Valley.
colors?
Orange and black.
Yeah.
Who's got better orange and black?
Us, because we're going to switch at halftime, and it's going to be awesome.
Then why do you call it the dog pound?
Mad dog.
It's named after Mad Dog, who's one of the managers on our basketball team.
And he has been for a long time.
Yeah, and he went to NU, and we love him.
They're our biggest supporters we've ever had. They're here every game we've had. We love them to death.
Well, you're the NU High Little Panthers, right?
So do you roar like a panther or do you bark like a dog?
Roar like panther.
Give me a panther roar.
And we do have more highlights of the actual game from the state tournament and interviews from Des Moines, and you can see those right here on Channel 15 next week on Sports Talk following the Cats. It was a week off for many people in Cedar Falls this past week. Both the University of Northern Iowa and Cedar Falls Public Schools had spring break, and there were plenty of things going on around the city to keep students from getting restless. There were many special programs at the Cedar Falls Rec Center during the week. This was a 2-on-2 soccer tournament. There was also a 3-on-3 basketball and dodgeball. They had great turnouts. The tournaments were open to students in grades 1 through 8 for a small team registration fee. In addition to keeping bodies active, students could also flex their creative muscle at the Hearst Center for the Arts, which also had special spring break programming. Kids could either participate in half-day or full-day sessions. The morning session featured 3D objects, and here the kids are painting flying machines they made out of paper mache. The Cedar Falls Bicycle Task Force continues to develop plans for bike routes and paths on city streets, and they would like your input. There would be a public meeting on Tuesday, March 24th at 7 p.m. at Pete Junior High School. The Cedar Falls Bicycle Task Force and the Active Transportation Alliance will present a draft of the bicycle plan. The groups will present their initial findings and identify any missing links in the plan, as well as highlight existing barriers. Again, a Cedar Falls Bike Plan input meeting for the public will be held Tuesday, March 24th at 7 p.m. at Pete Junior High School. And that's all for this edition of Cedar Falls City News. I'm John Bloomberg. Thank you for watching.